Hi everybody, it's Crazy. It's Friday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. We are up to episode number 9, and before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys rock. To my Crazy fam, I love you guys. And to my patrons, thank you for your support. Alright, so we are working from the book called Game Development with Blender, and it's called the Game Engine Book. Okay, that's what we're working on right now. To catch you further into the know, we left off with the keyboard. Okay, so let's get started. All right, because of the large number of commands Blender is capable of performing, invoking a function through a quick tap on the keyboard is generally faster than using the mouse to find the menu entry. Now, before we get going with that, let's kick over to, let's see here, hang on, let me bring it up. Mouse. There we go. Okay. All right. So as you see, I hit the 4 key and 5 key because that actually works with my OBS Studio. But as you see, if I hit the G key, it grabs it, right? If I hit the R key, it rotates it. But what they're saying is these shortcut keys actually help you out instead of having to find them in a menu somewhere. Here goes rotate. You can still rotate, no problem. But it's easier just to hit the R and you can rotate it just the same. So tapping a key comparable to hunting it down saves you a little bit of time when you're trying to do stuff. Okay? So with that being said, uh, as you follow along through the rest of this section, pay attention to the shortcut keys that are used. Excuse me, because Blender is designed to let you work fast once you learn the shortcuts. So G key, R key, S key, all these work in conjunction. They're shortcut keys to help you do stuff. Now, there's going to be more stuff that's going to talk about shortcut keys, so let's continue on. Blender's keyboard shortcuts are optimized for full-size English QWERTY keyboards. Basically, QWERTY, which is right across the very first letters that your left hand can reach. Okay, so most of them is just American keyboard or English keyboard. Okay, the number pad, which is unfortunately not present on many laptops, but they have fixed that, is used to quickly navigate around the 3D scene. Laptop users usually have to press extra keys on their keyboard, such as the function key or a toggle. In order to simulate a number pad key, I gotta remember there's a period in most of these. As the solution, go to File, User Preferences, Control Alt U, which is a shortcut key. So if you hit, I gotta come over here, Control Alt and U, will bring up your user preferences. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of time. Okay, and you can come over to, I believe it's Input. Yeah, Input. Come over here to Input, and you can actually emulate the numpad. Okay, you can also emulate a 3-button mouse. Okay, that's what it's going to talk about here in just a minute. Okay, then switch to Input tab and enable emulate numpad. That's this one right here. Okay, that emulates the numpad. Option to use main 1 to 0 keys instead of the numpad keys. So basically, at the top of your keyboard, those numbers there you can use on your laptop in place of your numpad. Okay. If you want this setting remaining permanently, click the Save User Settings button, which you would save user settings. I don't need to emulate my numpad keys nor my mouse, so I don't need to save this and I don't need to have them checked. But if you're using a laptop, these right here will help you out a lot. Having that enabled and having that enabled can really make it a little bit easier for you, unless you've got an external mouse that has 3 buttons. Okay. Alright, so we scroll on down here and say, okay, alternatively, Blender also has an add-on called 3D Navigation. that provides an easier way to navigate around the world for people without a numpad. To enable the 3D navigation plugin to help you navigate around the 3D viewport quickly, go to File, User Preferences, and Add-ons. So let's just go on back up here. You can do it from here. See how longer this takes? Because you got to hunt it. Oh, it's right here. Now, the other one was just what? Yeah. So, okay, so you're back in here. So we got to go to Add-ons. And it's called Turn on the 3D Views, 3D Navigation. So 3D Views, 3D Navigation. That's this one right here. Okay. Then you can switch views quickly from the 3D Views tool shelf. So that would be, and I have mine enabled because it's a lot easier to do. So I believe, go down to, go down to Display, it's right there. You can change your views, front, back, left, right, the whole 9 yards, all right here. Pretty comfortable, huh? But again, short keys are a lot faster. If I hit the 5 key, I'm at now orthographic or perspective and ortho. Okay, see how quickly that changes? Also, if I do 1, okay, oops, I gotta be in the 3D view. There you go. If I hit 1, okay, here I've got to figure out where the front side is. So this would be front. If I hit the 7 key, now I'm looking at the top, I got to look for top. That would be this one. Okay? So the more you learn shortcut keys, the better off you will be, but there are ways of finding your way around your viewport or different menus. Okay? Now let's kick on over to the mouse. Okay? Blender is designed for a 3-button mouse. Read that, okay? Alright, Blender is designed for a 3-button mouse. A mouse with 2 buttons, okay? I don't know if I can get I'll bring my other mouse up here, okay? This is an optical mouse, okay? 3 buttons, 1, 2, and 3. That's your scroll button actually presses down, so that's considered a button. Okay? So, although there is an option to emulate the middle mouse button when you click the scroll wheel, that's what I just did, this book will assume that you are working with a 3-button mouse for convenience. Okay, now it goes into how to emulate it. Okay, how to emulate the 3-button mouse. Okay, I showed you that in Preferences. Go to User Preferences, come on down here and click. Wait for it to load up, which takes 20 minutes. There we go. Okay, we go back to Input, Emulate 3-button mouse. All this does, okay, is just makes it to where it emulates it, okay? If you don't have a 3-button mouse, you can use the Alt plus left mouse button. So hitting the Alt key, let me close out of this because we're not going to save that. But if you hit the Alt key and the left button mouse, okay, you can actually change or use it be like the middle mouse button. Okay, so, oh, I didn't do it. Yeah. Well, I don't have it emulated, duh. Okay, but if I had it emulated, it would do this. Okay, it would emulate that by me hitting Alt and that at the same time. Okay, so with that said, to enable this feature, go to File, User Preferences, Input, and turn on Emulate 3D Mouse button. Okay, now let's go into Context. Okay, this one's a fun one because of the fact that a lot of people don't know a lot about it. Alright, in Blender, the actions you can perform at any given time are limited to the current state of Blender. Okay, a lot of people get this mixed up because and don't get me wrong. Okay, it's not everybody, but a lot of people do it, and self-included. Okay, one of them is this little guy right here, right there. Forget to put it on Blender Game, and you got it on Blender Render, and you're trying to hit P to play it, and nothing's happening. Okay, so just remember to put it on Blender Game if you want to do a Blender game. Okay. Okay, so also known collectively as the context. For example, certain operations can only be invoked when you have an object selected. The property editors change depending on which object is selected. The effect of the keyboard shortcuts even changes depending on where your mouse is positioned. Y'all saw that just a minute ago. I had it over here and I'm trying to hit, you know, rotate or something, and it's not going to rotate because I'm over here. You got to be in the 3D view port in order to rotate something, okay? So, let's see. I like putting it back to default just in case you haven't changed yours. All right. see. Let's see. This context-sensitive nature lets you focus on the task at hand by only providing you with options that make sense at the time. This is Blender's way of preventing the interface from getting too cluttered. In other words, okay, all this stuff over here, you can click on all this and it'll help you out. But if you need to be working on something and you know a lot of the shortcuts, you can hit, I believe it was, no, not Control T, just hit T, okay, you can hit T and you can hit N, and now those go away and you can actually work on your project. You can zoom in closer and work on it and get more detail from it, okay? But with them up, and especially if you're just starting to learn, I would have these up, especially in your tool menu, and especially this here, because you're going to need those to figure stuff out. Okay, if you've got background images you want to put in so you can do some, 3D modeling of something, and you want to get at least a couple of views when you hit 1, which is front, yeah, and 7 from the top, and I think it's 3 from the side, yeah, 3 from the side. So, I'm old, I forget a lot of stuff, so forgive me if I pause for a second because I get to kick my old brain into gear. Okay, but a lot of these are, sensitive for whenever you're working on them. If you're working in edit mode, okay, you can move this whole stuff, but there's things that you can't do in edit mode that you can do in object mode. There's things that you can do can't do in object mode that you can do in sculpt mode. Okay, things are different, depending on what area you're in, what you're using, and what you're doing. Okay, that's what this is talking about. All right, so the context usually refers to one of the combination of the following: active rendering engine, Blender Render, Blender Game, Blender Cycles Render, are the default 3. It's most people use. It's very rare people use the network render. And I do want to answer a question. One of the people I do know asked me, why do you use 0.2.0? I'm going to put this out there because I want you to understand that I'm using 0.2.0 because of the fact that one of the projects I'm working on is built on that, and it uses the Game 3 engine, and until we can migrate it up and they get 2.6 fixed and make sure everything is running good, like 0.2.0 worked, better back then, and now they've got a lot of changes and there's still a lot of bugs. So to answer his question, when they finally fix 0.2x, I will migrate over and we will bring Game 3 engine to Game 4 engine, so on and so forth. And this is just a progression. This is also to help those people who are just starting this and trying to figure it out. Okay, so if you're trying to just get into this, try 0.2.0. It may get you more comfortable and get you the idea. I could start all the way back at 2.5, okay, of Blender, back when the game engine, wasn't really that great at all. But I'm not going to go back that far because most people want a newer style. We will get to 0.3.0 very soon. I want to finish this book, do some stuff, do a couple projects in this, progress up to more things, and then later on, when the people who are following me on this get to 0.3, have a stronger knowledge. Yes, we're going to have to learn some more stuff. We're going to have to learn a little bit of change, but we can do it. So let's finish up. I just had to get that out there. So, Paladin, that was for you, bud. All right, so we did the rendering engine. The active editor. The active editor is defined as the window subdivision that the mouse cursor is hovering over. Shortcut keys often have different effects depending on which editor the mouse is over. Like I was just stating, if it's not here, you can't use the grab key. I can hit G over here all I want, G, 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 and it's not moving it. It's not going to, okay? The active object. The active object is defined as the object that is most recently selected. So I can't move this camera until I have it selected. I can move the camera now, but now I can't move the cube. I've got to be on the cube in order for it to move. Okay? Selecting objects. All objects that have been selected, highlighted, that little yellow thing around it, okay? Keep in mind that there can be more than one selected object, but only one active object. So, here we go. If I hit this, let's see, I think it's shift, yeah. If I hit the camera and then I hit the light, the active object is the light. It is not the cube. Okay? Same thing is if I hit this, hit the light, and then hit the camera. Now my camera is the active object. The orange ones are ones that were selected. This is the active object. Okay? All right, let's see here. Editing mode. Blender has 6 different modes of editing. 2 of the most commonly used are edit mode and object mode. Went over this just a minute ago, okay? Right. In object mode, you can manipulate object as a whole. In edit mode, you can change the shape of the mesh. Make sense? Yeah. In each mode, there is a unique set of tools and options at your disposal. So, in object mode, you can do this. If I go to edit mode, notice that this changes. Now I can see my normals. Now I can add, different things in that can help me edit my object. Okay? And if you notice, watch. If I do it again, I go to object mode. Now it changes again. See? Now it doesn't have that. I can't see my normals. I've got to be in edit mode. So there's certain things that you got to do on that. Okay? Let's see. In object mode, you can. Oh, I already said that, didn't I? Yeah. In each mode, there's a unique set of tools at your disposal. You will learn about the other 4 modes: sculpt mode, vertex paint mode, texture paint mode, and weight paint mode in later chapters. Okay, so we'll get to learning about that. So I'm going to end it here at data blocks, and we'll do that next week because we are up to 17 minutes. That's a little long-winded today, huh? So let's switch back over to here, and like I said, we're going to go through this, and we will take 0.2.0. If you're working from 0.2.5 or 0.2.6, that's great. Jump on it. It's about the same, but I'm trying to reach some of the older people who are basically like this one over anything else. I'm trying to help them go forward. Okay. If you would like to jump in there and add a comment or jump on over to the server and say, hey, crazy, it's a good idea, or you think it's a bad idea for me to do 0.2.0, that's all fine and good. But I explained that when I do 0.2.0, I want to progress forward. This isn't just stagnating on 0.2.0. Yes, some people do stay there, but that's okay because that's what they're more comfortable with. I'm willing to move forward. I want to learn more, but being I have a slow memory, it's hard to learn. So that's why I'm doing these videos. So with that being said, see y'all next week.